My name is Shakeeb Asrar, and this is my story. I am currently an assistant professor in residence of journalistic production at NUQ. I'm also an NUQ grad, and I usually introduce myself as a journalist and documentary filmmaker. Okay, so how did I get into journalism, or how did I end up coming to Northwestern? It goes back, I think, to my high school days. I was always interested in writing, particularly writing stories. I used to write for the school magazine and the school newsletter, and I really enjoyed that process. So in the back of my mind, I knew I wanted to go into writing, or at least some sort of storytelling. Didn't know journalism particularly, but when I was looking at applying for undergraduate programs, Medill School of Journalism was a name that I had heard a lot because it's one of the most reputable journalism programs. So I didn't even know that there was a Qatar campus of Medill. Planning to apply for the main campus, Northwestern main campus in Evanston, Illinois, when I came across the branch campus in Qatar. And the counselor in our high school, he was like, oh, you should consider applying because I've heard they offer the same programs. And I knew nothing about Qatar. When I came to Qatar, my plan was to transfer to main campus after one semester. But I was delightfully surprised that the program was exactly how it is offered in Medill. At that time, we had a lot of professors coming in from Evanston. The curriculum and the program, everything seemed very identical. And I was like, oh, this is great. I've always felt very connected to my country. And I think a lot of it has to come from just how Pakistan, maybe in particular, has kind of been not portrayed very positively in global media, particularly when coming to college realization that my people, or people from Pakistan and generally South Asia in general, were not getting a fair share or accurate representation in media. So I wanted to become a journalist who could somehow be the voice of accurate representation of stories from Pakistan. The negatives are still there, but just at least showing all sides. The diversity of the education here, particularly in Education City, was one of the main things I think that kept me here. I think one of the most attractive aspects of studying here, especially after studying in the US and coming back, that the lived experiences really inform the intellectual diversity of this campus, and that's what I really value. What changed in me during that time, I can think of a couple of things, but I think, as I said, me leaving Pakistan was driven by the fact that I just wanted to go abroad, and I thought, going abroad is the right way to succeed in life, and kind of with that colonial mentality, they're looking up to the West, that you have to get an American degree or a Western degree to kind of become something in life. I think that's the mentality I came with, but particularly I think the duality of Northwestern here and in the US kind of made me realize that's not something I wanted. Then after I graduated, I started my career working at Al Jazeera, and I had a great time. I switched to Qatar Foundation Communications. I was working in the QF Comms marketing department for almost 3 years, I believe. So I resigned from my job and I applied for a graduate degree in journalism, and particularly I wanted to switch to video because, again, as I said, I'd been writing. Even at Al Jazeera, I was mostly doing digital stories for the web. But I wanted to do more video-based work, and the reason for that is every time I was creating stories for Al Jazeera, people back home wouldn't get what it is. Even my mom, she would call me. She was like, oh, I saw on Facebook you shared that you published an article on Al Jazeera. Can you tell me what it's about? Because she doesn't understand English. She doesn't know what I'm writing about. And that was really interesting because she would still be watching Turkish drama series on YouTube, even if they're not in Urdu. So I was like, oh, if I do videos, that still reaches a wider audience, particularly back home, than writing in English. So that was kind of my motivation to switch from print to video, but within the realm of journalism, I think one to stay. But I think what Qatar Foundation means to me is knowing that, one, I think their focus on humans and people is something that I personally resonate with. And it sounds PR-ish, but if I'm being very honest, I think I want to always work for organizations where at least the values that I have as a person are the values I see reflected in that institution. They're focused on education, and then they're focused on just people and making sure that, you know, education is something that's offered to people around the world. Qatar Foundation is making an impact in the lives of individuals, not just in Qatar but beyond, and being part of that goal is inspiring for me.